and welcome back, Firewood Addicts, to another episode of Travis Says Firewood. Today we're talking about my favorite topic, Cottonwood. All right, so if you watch my channel for a while, you know that I took in a chip chop load of cottonwood logs. They're massive, and it took me like months, plural, to have time to process them. They were just massive. And here's some here next to me to my right. And if you remember that, I wanted to process them naked. That's right, barkless. So anything that had nothing on them got stacked, now it's drying. Now, the remnants of this barkless stuff is I had a bunch of stuff that was still wood, still on there, but had bark. See here? Bark on it, bark on it, bark on it, bark on it here. Bunch of bark you stack right there, there's bark. So, and I didn't want to just like toss it. Yes, I could dry this out and burn it myself, but I feel that there's better burning wood for my own wood stove. Yes, I mean in terms of firewood sellers who also burn, there's the mantra of sell the good stuff, burn the crap, as in burn the crap in your own wood stove, in your own house, in your stove, in your shed, in your garage, wherever, just on your own premise, and then just make sure that you're making a premium money on the good stuff. Now, so this is in that realm of non-premium firewood, and I've gotten crap over my attempt to sell cottonwood at the stand, as well as cottonwood in this tote. But I've sold one of these already, like late this past summer, and this has been sitting here. It's been covered by the top of a tote cage, you know, right there. But it's not dry by any means. So anyway, the ad was for a full one of these, and then I had it for sale for dirt cheap. So it hasn't been a big seller, hence I still have one, but it's been like a partially full one. But I had a ping the other day, and I'll tell you about it now. So with this bark, I mean, some of these pieces, the bark was like an inch thick. I mean, that's some thick bark, and it has some detail, and like it goes in there, and it looks kind of cool. Now I didn't know this at the time, but cottonwood specifically, and maybe not solely, but there are like Facebook groups of people who take cottonwood bark and they carve with it, and then they sell it at like craft stores, or they carve it for their own purposes or their own amusement or whatever. Mostly like old men, beards, like wizards type thing, or other things like owls. Anyway, I'll leave a few pictures. These are not my pictures, these are from Facebook, so I'm not claiming they're mine, but I found that to be interesting. So sorry, let me back up. I got a ping on the cottonwood, and the lady, I wasn't quite understanding what she needed, because this is listed as firewood. And so she pinged me on this specific ad for the cottonwood, the slab-like splits and cuts. And I'm like, well, this is not, if you want something to burn now, this is not burn ready now. I have other cheaper wood if you're interested, type thing. So long story short, we were conversing for a while via Messenger. This is the time that my son was in the hospital, so I was not available. That, and she was like a half an hour away. So I'm like, you know what? Like, it's not a big hassle. Like and she didn't want the entire tote. She wanted like a portion of the tote. So I'm like, usually with like large like bulk sales, it's only delivery type thing. So, but for this sale, I'm like, you know what? Come up. It sounds like you want something specific. I hope that I can accommodate coming up, and let's check out what I have. So they came up and checked out what I had, and apparently they didn't want it for burning. They wanted it for the carving part. So I brought up like 3 like wheelbarrows full of these slab-like pieces, and had wood on them too. Like it was not only just bark, it was wood and bark together, and they were going to use it to carve, and they were fine with it not being seasoned. Apparently it's better when it's kind of damp or green, which is perfect for this situation. And so they're like, well, how much do I owe you? I'm like, you know what, just give me $20. Like, it was, like, I'm not gonna argue over a price. Like, this is priced to be sold as is at a lower price because of the quality grade of wood it is. And but they were not buying it for firewood, they're buying it for something different. And that's interesting. At least for me, like, I maintain that I can sell pretty much any grade, any type of wood within reason. Granted, I could sell it and sell it as free, but charge a fee to deliver it. And that's something I've done before, just to get it off my property, just to get it out of here, and not having to put in the compost or dump in the woods or whatever. Just so, like, my fee for having to split it up into chunks is, I guess, paid for. So it's worth my time in that regard. So that was interesting. So I sold a few wheelbarrow loads of cottonwood then. Fast forward a few weeks ago, and I got a ping last week or so, and the person wanted cottonwood specifically for his terrarium. I think I'm saying that correctly, which I believe it's for, like, some animal or amphibian, lizard, frog, toad, snake, anyway, in like a glass enclosure, and using pieces like this for them to, like, hide under, lay on, timber, lay on, or to use as, like, a natural landscape in their living space. And again, like, not firewood related, but the guy or person specifically wanted cottonwood for that. I'm not sure why, but they wanted cottonwood. So when I bring in wood, when anyone brings in wood, there's going to be byproducts. There'll be bark, there'll be shavings, there'll be shake. Is that what you call it? The little pieces that come off. Bark again, moss. There'll be shorties. There'll be cookies. There'll just be rot. There'll be punk. There'll be branches. There'll be knots. Anyway, there's always byproducts of firewood, and to be able to, if you're going to be marketing firewood, if you're going to be selling firewood, there's always other markets. There's always other markets, and this specific market of, like, terrariums for animals or for, like, carving, I never would have thought. I never would have thought in a million years, but it's definitely interesting and definitely a moneymaker. So I reached out to the carving group and said, hey, I'm in the PNW. If you need cottonwood bark wood, let me know. I'm in the area. With this, I don't think I could ship this. It's not like USDA, whatever, certified or organic cottonwood. I mean, I don't think the firewood gods can certify this that the government would recognize, right? So that's different. Satire versus non-satire. Anyway, so it'd be local, like, having to, like, hand them the wood and they hand me money or whatever. So it's definitely something new, something different. I'm not sure how to market it specifically, but I think that's being a part of those groups from that buyer. Now I am able to have access to those groups. In terms of, like, using it for enclosures for animals, I don't know how to, like, type that in, like, cottonwood wood for lizards. Like, I guess you could say that. But it's not the last time that I have marketed wood that I've gotten for firewood as something different. You remember a while ago, if you watch the channel long enough, I had some maple logs and they were hollowed in the middle, and hollow wood is not ideal, especially when it's going to be, like, rotted, kind of like this piece here. Got some rot and punkiness in here, but that hollow spot, the hollowness looked like a heart. And I saw it when I first saw the wood, and I'm like, you know what, that could be different, that could be marketable. So I cut them into, like, 1 inch like thick rounds, and I sold them for like $15-20 each. Anyway, I made a few $100 just on that, and that's way more money that I would have sold the wood as in, like, bundle form, for example. Now this shape here, my wife said that kind of looks like a heart as well. I think you have to turn it to kind of see. I think this is the top part ear, and this is the bottom part. I don't know, maybe I'll cut it and turn it and then we can see together later on if I could do the same thing with this. So my point is to the episode, to this episode here, the video, is when you take in wood, firewood, logs, rounds, whatever, in your backyard, just don't see it as if you sell firewood. I mean, if you don't sell firewood, maybe not. This is not pertaining to you. So what I'm getting at is, if you don't view firewood as just firewood, there's other ways to market and make money off wood products. Maybe view it as wood products, not just firewood by definition. So, AKA Mr. Cottonwood strikes again on sales of my cottonwood and how I'm able to make a little bit of money off of a wood that is known as being garbage. So, but I got a hit on this remaining. So the person for the terrarium didn't respond to me. I got another ping on this wood, and they're interested in it. It won't be the full 50 for the cage. It'll be a little bit shy on that, but it will be delivered to the next town over. So let's get this loaded, and we'll be on our way. All right, cage is empty, cottonwood is done. So I guess the point of the episode is, don't knock a certain species, a certain type of firewood, because there's other ways to sell it. Yes, it takes time, and you may need to sit on the wood for a while, but if you have enough space in your wood yard, in a shed or whatever, shelter under a tarp, store it and see if you can find a way to offload it, a way to make money off it. If anything, I mean, worst case scenario, all wood burns, you know, so just burn it. It is what it is. But yeah, I just wanted to share that there's, at least for cottonwood, I mean, you know me, like, I love cottonwood. I can't take any more in at the moment, but at least for now, the cottonwood with the bark is offloaded. One for carving, and another pending sale that didn't happen for a terrarium thing, and then this one, and then the one you just saw was gonna be sold for as firewood. So that's all I had for today. I appreciate you tuning in. Until next time, life's short to be a prick, so be kind to one another. Rock and roll. Stay safe, keep cutting. Cheers.